advance almost to round of 16. The other will fall down to Laz's bracket. And the first contender for that prize is a yellow Protoss player up in the top right-hand corner. From the Real clan, it is Uzi.
And his opponent in the bottom left-hand corner, currently trying to impede the production of a natural here. Of course, he is your pink Zerg player. Pretty comfortable 2-0 victory to start off the first series of the evening. It is representing Seed Gaming, your pink Zerg player, Revolution. And that's the Root Gaming. You play that, and then you'll get Root afterwards. Is that type of how that goes?
Yes.
Yeah, it's the academy. I think Estrella, was the first. Estrella, the player who knocked out Scarlet from WCS, was the first player to get promoted out of the Seed Academy. And Revolution, I think, has been on there a little while. I remember seeing him being picked up, but I think I remember, like, I noticed him, and then he was like, "Notice me, senpai," and I was like, I will shoot you in my build. I wish, but yeah, I noticed him, and then he turned up here, and it turns out he's British. So, woo.
Woo. We do see from Revolution going into gas, then pulling them all out at 100. Obviously, going only for speed, actually throwing 3 more guys into gas. So, it will look like some early Ling pressure, possibly. Could just be to be safer right now, but out of Uzi, really, for Revolution, he did scout essentially everything of Uzi except for the second gas, but right now for Uzi, I mean, you generally assume that he scouted even earlier than the gases would, so pretty much scouting just for anything crazy out of Uzi. Might have watched the previous game that he played versus Scythe.
Yeah, and it's kind of interesting because Revolution, I feel, is switching it up a little bit with this fast speed. Both the other games he played without, I'm not going to say gasless, but he played very low on gas for quite a while. And getting the speed fast here certainly does lean him to on a bit more of an aggressive stance. I think what he scouts will depend a little bit on whether or not he builds a mass of speedlings. I think mainly he's just setting himself up for the possibility of pressuring a fast third base rather than actually looking to get into natural and do some damage, because you have to go really all in to actually have a chance of breaking through a Protoss natural. There's no possibility of like Protoss does where they warp in just like 6 zealots and pressure your third. You can't do that. You get like the equivalent would be 12 Zerglings, and you just attack their wall for a bit, and then you get repelled by sentries. So I think it's mainly just for the possibility of defending a third base. However, the 8 Roaches are a different matter entirely.
Most definitely. Pumping out those Roaches. On the other side of the map, though, Uzi going for Stargate, so I'm a little bit worried for him, depending on how many more Roaches will come after this. Also, 8 Lings. Not a ton, but definitely a little bit of early game pressure we're going to see. I'm curious to see what we're going to see out of the Stargate from Uzi, because sometimes we see an Oracle for that, but I'm guessing it's going to be Phoenix.
Yeah.
How all in is this?
It's pretty all in. I mean, he's just over 1 base saturation if you include gases, but obviously he's just on the 1 gas. He's just got enough for the Roaches. It depends how much, and if he returns back to Journey. I think mainly just the Roaches are there to help break down the wall, and then the Lings flood in. And Speedlings are an early game Protoss' worst nightmare, really. The Phoenixes as well. That's like the worst unit for this. An Oracle kills off Lings so fast. A Void Ray kills off Roaches so fast and never runs out of energy. But right now, Uzi, I don't think is at all happy to see these Roaches coming. They're going to focus down the Zealot very, very quickly.
Double gate, though, very nice.
All of the pylons, and this is really bad for Uzi.
Most definitely not actually terrible for Uzi. He does have the Robo facility, but it's going to be sniped almost as soon as it gets out. Trying to pick up those Roaches right there. Ling's flooding into the main. I'm guessing just going to go for as many probes as they can, getting a very nice attack on them. Probes actually will get out, and going for the pylons. Interesting, putting a lot of Lings into that. I feel like he'd probably go for the Cybernetics core or something instead of that main pylon, but evidently a little bit scared of what may happen through an Oracle. But back at the natural of Uzi, throwing down 2 cannons, and I like the double gate, but right now, really, he has no way of defending the Cybernetics core. If it's sniped, then actually right now, Revolution will go for the main and just kind of going for whatever he can kill right now. Very interesting from Revolution, just picking up what he will to kill in that attack.
Yeah, absolutely ravaging the main. I'm kind of interested as you are to see him not rebuilding Cybernetics Core for so long, and not attacking Cybernetics Core for so long. And Uzi is now rebuilding that, but Uzi does now have a few sentries. He'll have, like, over the duration of the force fields, he'll have about 3 force fields, maybe 4, to block off this ramp and stop Revolution coming back down. And there's the first one. And yeah, it looks like he'll have actually at least 4, maybe 5. And now he can start chroning out Immortals to deal with the roaches, but I feel like Revolution's done solid damage with this. He's now approaching, I think, the same drone count as Uzi. He can take a 3rd base. But Uzi can take a 3rd base of his own. It would be really nice if there was a Overlord over there to try and just a few lings would actually deal with it really nicely, because Uzi can't take his units away from this round. Oh my god, missed force field slightly, lets a couple of lings in, but just few enough that Uzi can still deal with this. And the Mothership Core is just going to be a continual launch these forces of Revolution.
In a way, letting a few lings in is really what he wants to do, just gradually taking down that army, because he really wants to take his main back at some point. Funny position here, but only 2 Phoenixes right now for Uzi is out in those. I mean, you can take a Queen after a very long time, but it's really not optimal. But he did make back that Stargate, pushing out a Void Ray, which is what what he wants in this position, because I feel like definitely he's going to want to be very aggressive soon with this, because he needs to do something to get out of this. But right now, I mean, maybe not if they're even, but I feel like it was all in, yes, but now he's got all his army stuck there. Even though he didn't lose it, this army's really just going to die not doing anything after this.
Oh, it hasn't been all in for some time now.
I know that.
Yeah. He started remaking drones. He's got his 3rd hatchery up. But this is really interesting because, I mean, there aren't any more army units coming out for Revolution. He's really just kind of tanking up. And Uzi is just, he made it a second. He made his natural, I suppose, over the 3rd of B. And one thing, Protoss is still seemingly really good at is just getting a couple of really strong units and marching across the map and doing a ton of damage if you're not prepared for it. And I mean, really, we're just seeing tech coming out of Revolution, and I guess he can, Uzi can force field all day until, this kind of reminds me of, if anyone saw Naniwa versus Nurchio, there was a game where he was down to 1 base versus 3 base Zerg, and he came back and won it. And we're going to have to see something similar from Uzi as the rest of this Ling Zerg or Ling Roach army is finally mopped up.
Yeah, more what my question was is just how do you feel about the positions? Because there's such unique positions. How often do you lose your main and then don't die right after that?
Uzi, I feel like Uzi's in a really good position. I don't know how, but I think he's actually doing just fine.
Yeah, I actually kind of agree. Definitely, he's got a lot of big units out, which he really wants. It is a little bit late into the game, so I'm curious how we're going to see Revolution respond, because he isn't getting a macro hatch up. What do you think, Trigonal? We do see the 11 Hydras, obviously, but past that.
I think it's a bit tough score. The Hydras are basically the best answer to everything Revolution has. Like, the Hydras are good on pretty much all gateway units, Void Rays, Immortals. There's no splash damage, and that's what Uzi would need. Blink Stalkers are okay on Hydralisk, but in the same way that Blink Stalkers are kind of okay on everything, you just have to have really good blink control, and then eventually they're still not going to win. But Revolution has been macking up really hard behind this, knowing that Uzi couldn't afford really to move out with any kind of significant pressure, because he had to stay at home and babysit the Roach Ling in his main base. And Uzi did the really big positive for that. Him just throughout all of this is that he's managed to get up his 3rd base, although I guess it was 2nd base in his 3rd base location, whatever it is we call it in this kind of weird situation, this base, and now he can re-expand his main, have a really, really nice 3-base economy. Revolution takes up, and I feel like the game's really stabilized back to kind of a normal situation, just a few minutes delayed, like 5 minutes or so delayed.
Yeah, off the back of this, really nice from Uzi. Even though he did start off with Stargate tech, he's already getting his Colossus out, and he actually rebuilt that Stargate after it was destroyed, so I really like he's already getting that Robo Bay, getting the Colossus out, taking his main back, and so this is looking, at least I think for mine also, Tyrannus kind of said, looking pretty good for Uzi. Now I'm a little bit worried about this first attack. Oh, well, okay, I'm a little bit worried about this first attack only because there's no gateway units and only 4 sentries, so he's gonna have to be very interesting how he'll hold this, but it looks like, yeah, Revolution will go in for it.
Yeah, I might have misread a little bit too early. I mean, Revolution got his macro up again, and then, Zerg does what Zerg does and makes a million units in a couple of minutes. If Uzi holds for the next 2 to 3 minutes, then yes, we're back to, Protoss being viable again, but that's a big if. This is looking a whole lot like the overgrowth we saw earlier, ZVP between the Truth and Revolution, and we saw how that one ended. And 2 Colossi a lot better than 1, and we've got this Void Ray in here, but they're kind of doing this weird dance in the middle of this ramp, and the walls are great!
Nice force fields.
Oh my god, that's paying off for him.
Yeah,
definitely, it's
force
exactly what he needed.
Yeah, but now the Hive coming in for Revolution, he's got a decent army, he's still maxed, and he's just building back, he's just teching up. He can afford to start training with this army and gets a really, really good kind of potential concave on this. He's going to back off at exactly the right moment as well, and now he can start going towards the third base, taking threatening positions, and just kind of concaving up, sending a small hit squad of units over to this to threaten this third base, and the rest of it is in a position where he can get a really, really nice little concave on this. But Uzi going forward is going to fight the army in two halves, and this looks like a really, really good game for him. A third Colossus coming in at the same time. Range is finished for them now, but are there too many Hydralisks? All the Void Rays are gone. Okay, one survives.
Yeah, the really nice thing from the Void Ray, not even with the Void Rays, he does have these 3 Colossus still, barely not losing one, which is putting him in a great position. He has the splash damage he needs to really enter into... I mean, obviously, the time right now is not the mid-game, but we're kind of seeing the mid-game composition go into a little bit of the late game here. But I'm really curious for Uzi now. You're saying if he did defend this for the 2 to 3 minutes, as you said, he'll be in a good position. And I think he is in a good position, but at the same time, just for Revolution, taking a 4th and a 5th base, his macro and economy is going to just be so good in just a couple of minutes. It's going to be really hard to beat off the 3 base.
Yeah. I think Revolution's going to come in with the Vipers, and he is going to stomp through Uzi hard.
Trigonal's favorite unit, the Viper, is going to make a showing
I do
here.
like Vipers. And yeah, I mean, Revolution's just doing really well at outmaneuvering the Zerg force. Having broken down these rocks, he can swing around and threaten the natural much, much faster. 4 Colossi out now for Uzi, but Colossi and Void Ray are both kind of weak to Vipers. Like, they're both units that are defended and kind of sit back until you get a huge mass of Void Rays. Like, they don't do that much just on their own. And now the Vipers are coming in, 4 Vipers, 4 Pools, 4 Colossi, and this is a lot of Roach Hydra. First Colossus goes down, second Colossus, third Colossus, immediately pokes down. The last Colossus gets a couple hits, but one more yoink, and that is gone too. And now this is a horrifyingly scary army for Revolution. Uzi is in big trouble.
Yeah, most definitely. Uzi, terrible trouble. Really, there's just not enough units coming in right now. Maybe somehow, but not really. GG. Revolution takes that game quite decisively.
And our first player is the Yellow Protoss, down 1-0. He has already seen his opponent 2-0-1 Protoss in this group. Can he avoid letting him 2-0 a second? From Team Real, it is Uzi.
Oh, what a lovely player right there. And his opponent currently up 1 game in this best of 3. Playing for TT Esports Seed. I believe it's the Academy in the top corner, or it's not top corner, in the top side of Vandy Research Station. It is Revolution. TT Seed Academy, right? Or no, it would be
yeah.
No, sorry.
It's the TT Seed Academy because TT sponsor it, and it's the Root Academy, which is why it's called Seed. I don't know.
Yeah,
it always confused me a lot because there's a player called Seed as well, and I really want to see like Seed, but Seed is too good to be on Seed, so I don't know. But we see this this third base taken first by Revolution again. Obviously, this is like a strat he really likes on this map, and I don't blame him for it because we went through before a little bit why it's such a good idea. It just gets a creep thread going really, really quickly, which favors that aggressive style that we've seen Revolution play because obviously you get your rally points a lot faster. Units just have that extra bit of mobility, and you get the natural as well is still a safe fallback position inside your base. And actually, Zerg bases work in a little bit of a similar way as Protoss ones, where taking them faster actually gives you a bit more of a defensive advantage, because when they're finished, you've got the creep you can plot Spine Claws down on. The Queens, especially in the early game, the Queens have that extra maneuverability to get down there, get up there, and kite around units. And in the same way that Photon Overcharge works, like when the next is finished, it's a lot safer than when it's building.
Yeah, definitely. Once you get it down, you're in a lot safer position. We do see from Uzi getting a full scout off. Does not actually... No, he will see the spawning pool right here. So, essentially full scout off, and he knows what he's facing right now, at least on the 3 base-wise. He does feel quite confident taking his natural, which is essentially what he's doing. 1 gauge fast expand. and I'm curious to see what his next tech decision is. On previous games, we saw him go Stargate, or actually we saw a different player go Stargate, double Stargate, and it looks like he'll actually only go one Stargate. I think that's I know he's not that other player we saw, but definitely I feel like the one Stargate's a much better decision on this map. It allows you to free up a little bit more gas, and really, you're not going to have enough to produce a double Stargate off of 2-base.
Yeah, I feel like the Truth was a little bit greedy with his double Stargate, and I was never quite sure what he was doing. He got like one Void Ray, and then he got 7 Phoenixes, and then he maybe built another Void Ray. It was a little bit indecisive, whereas the one Stargate, we could see a bunch of Phoenixes, we could see like an Oracle into a bunch of Phoenixes, we can see an Oracle into Void Rays, and they all seem much more natural choices to me, but I would have thought the first built unit out of this Stargate would be an Oracle or a Phoenix. I mean, I started that sentence before it started, but
yeah.
We do see an Oracle.
Oracle will be producing, but Revolution has an amazing position right with these Overlords. Very, very nice positions of those, and we'll see what comes out of there. Now for Revolution, just pretty much droning up, not doing like some super crazy early lair because there's no gas yet. So pretty curious about what Revolution is going to do right here. Well, what do you think, Tyrannus?
Well, Revolution's, I mean, he's got the advantage of
Droning
being
up, yeah.
Zerg, where he's able to just react to whatever he sees, you know, and perfectly happy to take the 3 bases. We all see what's going on, getting his Spore Crawlers down, and I mean, I really just think he's just gonna see what Uzi's got and then kind of make his decisions there. I mean, it is the advantage of Zerg to build all your tech and then go for it. I mean, Roach Hydra seems to be pretty standard. He's used it every single game. It just depends on really the timing of when he does that. He's now going to see the Oracle because I don't think he might have scouted the Stargate. I don't think he saw it, but I mean, the Oracle's not going to get anything done. I think he produced a second Oracle, might have canceled it once he saw. No, there's your second Oracle for you. Yeah, I mean, really, Revolution has the advantage of just doing whatever he wants after this. So, he's just producing drones and overlords. He's doing all the typical Zerg stuff.
Yeah, and really right now, the opportunity for Uzi to go in and do some early pressure has kind of been taken away, and once that Zerg is on 3 base, you not only have the income, but you just have the production, purely just because you produce out of your hatches. So definitely is going to be in a really great position right now.
Yeah, I'm really disappointed, and this is one of those things where it's like, of course I'm not playing and I'm not the Grandmaster Protoss, but Revolution has been able to get to his comfortable macro level every game, and I almost think a 2-base, maybe parting Immortal Sentry all in, or Naniwa's like Zealot Immortal all in. Something like that along the lines might have really just upset his style of play, because he seems to be perfectly content to get to wherever he wants to be and have the tech to respond to it. Nobody's ever really put the pressure on him super hard from the get-go.
Yeah, most definitely. He's just pretty much gotten to the exact position he wants to be in without having anything delayed. So I think any early aggression might be a good idea. Trigonal, you said... Well, you gave some opposition to our opinions.
In game 1 on Overgrowth, the Truth versus Revolution, we did see like 2 fast Zealots being cornered out, and then a bit of a just 2 gate plus 1 Zealot aggression coming against him, and Revolution dealt with that so well, just with perfectly measured responses, that I think if he has some inkling that aggression is going to come against him, I feel like his reactions will be really good. So I'm not sure whether it would be that good, but as you say, like a proper full-on all-in, I don't know how well he'd deal with that. You're right, and I mean, I think he's dealt with just the aggression that's come at him, like just a couple like 4-gate Zealots or a little bit of a few units to cover your macro and cover your teching. He's dealt with really, really well, but I think definitely every Protoss who's gone against him has tried to macro in all of their games in one way or another, and they've all fallen so far. So, yeah.
Most definitely. All of them have fallen so far. We see out of Uzi now kind of going to the Void Ray. I feel like that's very much more of a defensive, oh no, if something really quickly hits me, I'm going to have this out. Starting to his Colossus out, but really right now only on 1 gate. I'm kind of worried about it, any early, not even early pressure, but just the sudden pressure that Zerg can do off of 3 bases. When that hits him, only on 1 gate, now going up to a second one.
Very.
I don't even know if I'd say greedy, but definitely kind of going into a different spot of his tech, saying, okay, I want to get my Void Rays, my Colossus out early.
I mean, I'd definitely say greedy. Taking a 3rd base off 3 gates, this is a pretty
fast making units, though, he's kind of saying, I want to get into my tech units first.
Well, for for this, it is greedy, right? Because, I mean, don't make units that's like maybe a silver level, you know? Just gonna go right to 3 Nexuses and then see what I need to deal with, you know? But like you said, there's no meat, right, to the unit composition, and there's a big ball of purple or pink, I suppose, coming across, and I mean that number of roaches almost looks like it could be potentially game ending because there's like 2 sentries, 2 colossi, and some phoenixes.
Maybe.
What do you do?
There's 3 Void Rays.
Where are
They're
they?
in a terrible position right now. They are being pulled right now to attack. Observer with
He's
them.
gonna lose the
No
Nexus.
tunneling claws.
Yeah, he's still
There is
gonna
tunneling claws though. Focusing down the Nexus. Nexus will go down. Void Ray's working on these 13 more roaches coming out. Another Void Ray for Uzi right now, but really these Colossus in a terrible position. They will both get targeted down right here. And not the natural, the third base gone. Not that many workers dead, actually. Only 6 killed, but really, that was a win right in of itself. Took out the Colossus, which cost so much, and now is really just put down Uzi to this, I don't know if I'd say measly air army, but it's not going to do that well versus the Remax that's going to happen. Or not necessarily Remax, but the tech switch probably we're going to see out of Revolution very soon. Maybe not even a tech switch, you may be able to push this without that.
Yeah, a couple of Queens are doing what they can, but nice lift from the Phoenixes are going to deny their transfuses. But this gives Revolution a chance to clean up this third base, take him back, take Uzi back down to his 1 gate, and you know what, force fields? I've got Burrow, and he's just going to go straight through the force fields. He can target down the side next core, just continue burrowing through, but it's a lot of Void Rays now. 6 Void Rays are going to clean up these roaches very fast.
Yeah, what I don't like is that he hasn't taken a 4th behind him. And typically what Revolution has done is when he's pressured, he's gone ahead and taken a 4th behind it. We saw that in Overgrowth, and it worked out really well for him as, you know, he's in the winner's match. Uzi held that better. I don't think Uzi is the worst off, really. I mean, he lost. Obviously, he didn't exchange as well as he could have, but I don't think he's the worst off for losing his 3rd Nexus. I don't think that's going to be as big a detriment as it could. But I mean, the 4th is taken now. Revolution takes it. This is rough because Revolution essentially just traded a bunch of roaches for, you know, economic detriment to Uzi. So Uzi just working with Void Rays here, and you know, Hydralisk's upgrades are coming in. You know, Groove Spine range and that sort of thing. So once Hydras are out, Void Rays don't really do that well.
Yeah, most definitely. These Void Rays have to be very, very careful, but I think this is exactly what he needs to do in this position right now. Now, he does not want to
Queens. Oh god. Oh god.
Queens. No. Yeah, he will back, but I was going to say...
Oh!
Mothership...
He takes down the Mother Score. There's no recall for them. The Queens, though, aren't quite as far as Hydra discs. They are going to not be able to choice them the Zoid.
What I was saying for Uzi is he needs to put on some aggression or at least take out the creep spread in this position since he does have that Void Ray count, but he's now lost 2 Void Rays and a Mothership Core, so it's definitely not good for him. Hydra's reinforcing from Revolution. Uzi does not have any Colossus out, has 3 Immortals and 8 Void Rays, so I don't know how this is going to happen. Maybe
they don't work versus Hydras. Void Rays and Immortals don't work.
I know, but with a couple, if he can warp in some more Zealots like he is, he may have a little bit of a chance. I feel like with the Queens though, just so many transfuses. Actually, not so many, only 9 transfuses, but 9 transfuses are 9.
That's a lot of transfuses. I think that's a lot of transfuses.
Well, these like half energy, you're going to have 18 to 20, but right now they're in a fine position.
Oh, that Colossus is going to get caught out. It might die instantly if he has vision. It's going to be trying to reinforce. It is going to get away with its life, but just barely. Now the Voiders are going to come in, but the Queens do, you know, just as much damage as Queens do. And I mean, you know, it looks like Uzi might be able to actually hold this off. The Hydralisk number wasn't at a culminating, like, totally deadly number yet, so it looks like Uzi, with the lifting from the Phoenixes, is actually going to be able to push this back, and now Uzi seems to have settled things a little bit more.
Void Rays are really, really good.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I was like, these Voiders are able to do something here now. Again, what Uzi really wants to do, he does not want to move out too far, but he wants to deny this creep spread because the upgrades right now for Revolution really favoring creep spread. Anyways, you don't want to engage on creep spread generally if you don't have to. So I feel like Uzi wants to not be super aggressive, but just deny this creep spread, deny the vision. So when he does want to move out and to make an attack, he will not be spotted. I mean, he can move out. You want to pick it out.
The style Uzi is going for is definitely more of a death bally one with the Void Ray Colossus getting in. I don't think he's going to try and move out really until he hits 200, and then he's going to try and roll through everything in his path. And there's a decent chance he might do that if Uzi just sticks around and Roach Hydra. The Pathogen Glands coming in, though, will work pretty well against Void Rays. The Void Rays do tend to clump up, and if the Hydralisks can get underneath them, that's when Void Rays start to scale off really hard, because the two big benefits of Void Rays are, one, they're kind of big, kind of tanky, they do kind of a lot of damage, and two, they're always all firing at once, because they're air units. They're just there, always. And if you can clump them up with the fungal and stop them retreating and then get underneath them, then all your units are firing at once as well, and one of their biggest advantages is completely nullified. But right now Revolution is overcommitting to Roaches in the face of how many Void Rays he's facing, I feel.
Yeah, most definitely. You don't want to keep going Roaches, even though... Hey, it wasn't me! Hey! Even though Roaches really a little bit of interesting composition right here. I feel like I'd like to see...
DTs, taking out the third. Or the fourth, rather.
The pause happened right as I was going down.
Yeah.
Not right as I was going down, but the pause kind of threw me off right there. The DT's very nice position. Overseers are with the main army. Now, you do see the Roach Hydra style is... It's an effective versus Protoss in the mid game, but once you get to the late game, really with Protoss, when you have Colossus and Void Ray, it's not too great. I'd really like to see him transition to something else. Is getting Vipers, though, which is definitely what he wants in this position, and we do start to see Uzi move out and deny that creep spread. Any thoughts, opinions, Tyrannus?
Oh, I love this. He's going to move out. At the same time, he's sending DTs right back in to focus on that fourth. So he's going to be able to pull Revolution's army back and forth at the same time, which is the real thing that he needs to be doing, is denying creep spread. So these DTs are going to die, but he accomplished what he actually wanted to do, which was come out and make sure that he's not going to have creep right on his front doorstep, seeing him every single time he moves out. And that might seem like insignificant 30 seconds, but I'm telling you, worth its weight in gold. And all that took was the same DTs that were able to take out that fourth entirely. And honestly, that I think it's even things up. Not just the creep spread move, but those DTs able to take out that fourth hatchery. Things are looking up for Uzi, as opposed to how things were looking when he lost his Nexus.
Yeah, most definitely. Uzi kind of posturing for a position right here. He does not actually know the Army of Revolution is right there, so a little bit worried about him. Viper is going around an interesting side. I'm kind of curious about where those Vipers were going with that. But we will see them pull back. A little bit of a run by Zealots in the right-hand corner, but it looks like there will be enough Spine Crawlers to almost completely clean it up. Actually, not 100% sure there. No, yeah, they will clean that up fine, but still from Revolution, kind of some strange Viper positioning right there. A couple times kind of out in a bad position, which I think you don't want to do versus this army composition of Void Rays. Definitely will be hard. Or definitely don't want to do that.
Yeah, anytime you can bring this Zerg army back and forth away from what you're originally trying to do, which is this Nexus is he's trying to set up at the gold, he's going to have to cancel it. He was trying to buy time with that Zealot run by to be able to set it up, but now he can't. I don't know if he wants to engage up this ramp against his army. He does have a really deathball-y composition, but Revolution can remax so quickly as a result of how many bases he's got with the Larva and the massive gas pool. He's got 3,000 gas, so if he loses this army... Trigonal, do you think he's going to go for Mutas because his Spire just finished up?
Yeah, he got Spire down. He's going for air attack.
Solid possibility. Yeah. But on the other hand, Uzi does have 2 Stargates. It looks like he's looking for Mutalisks with the double Spire. Damn, son. I love me some double Spire for those upgrades. Uzi's looking for an engagement, though, right now, and it looks like Revolution is happy to give it to him. But he needs to make this at least somewhat... Oh, the Blinding Clouds are really nicely going to take down a lot of these Colossi, but the Colossi aren't going to do anything against the Mutalisks.
36 Mutas.
36 Mutalisks.
But that many Void Rays.
36 Mutas still. 36 Mutas while the Void Rays are all clumped on top of each other. Not too good. Now for Uzi, he really wants Storm or something, which he's still not as gotten. Even though he's a pretty big rank.
Yeah,
I mean, he has Archons, but before that, he needs something to hit that air. With the Void Rays will be okay, but it's going to require some really good micro, and definitely will not want them to sit on top of each other like this. Now, taking out this 5th base is a start to pushing this forward, but these Mutas either can go to the main or the natural of Uzi, or engage the army, which looks like they're just going to kind of hang out right now and try to push this back, but like, one Storm would do wonders, especially Archons. So many hits with Archons! I take that back. Archons were great. I expected them
down 12 Mutalisks. 2 Archon hits. Bam! Bam! Pop! Who cares about Widow Mines? Archons are the way to go.
Ooh! Look, these Mutas say, screw the army, I'm going for the other bases. Like I was saying, going maybe into the main now. I was saying right here, I'd love to see 1 or 2 Storms. They would decimate that Muta force.
You are absolutely
And here we go,
correct
so many features now. I said he's on double Stargate already. And the fact as well, Revolution is playing from the EU. He's got the EU to NA lag, and Uzi can dance around his Mutalisks with the Phoenixes really, really nicely without too much trouble.
The Void Rays are so funny because they don't actually engage. They're just kind of moving towards it, and then we just keep having to pull back because they can't engage it.
Oh, he can take down these 2 Archons, though. He can engage these 2 Archons. He's going to go ahead and Magic Box and make sure that they don't clump up, and goodbye Archons.
Very good right now. Uzi, or very good at least for Revolution. Revolution decided to engage the Void Rays directly, but a lot of Stalkers on the ground. They'll actually, wow, I'm surprised if they may pick that off. I don't think they actually can, but Revolution deciding that it'll be too much loss there and pulling back. And on the left-hand side, Uzi does have a nice Warp-In pylon, but at the moment, literally nothing being produced for either player. Phoenix being right now, okay, getting back up that 5th base. 2 more Stargates. Now, obviously, Phoenixes are the best, but I really feel like in a lot of these situations, just 1 or 2 Storms would do wonders for Uzi in this position, but I guess Stargates probably are the better idea anyways.
I tend to agree with you.
Stargate's a better idea with time.
The thing is that the thing about a Stargate that it allows you maneuverability after, because a Storm, you expend a Storm, okay, now you make Archons, but if you have Void Rays and Phoenix, you know, that's something you can do a lot with as opposed to just AoE of Archons, which, you know, are, as we saw, sometimes are worth as much as, you know, their weight in gold. That was incredible, the damage that they did to those clumped up mutas. The problem is all these bases are getting mined out. Neither player is really able to take an expansion now, but the army of Uzi is just so much more death volley than his Zerg opponent.
Yeah, definitely. I think Revolution's only hope here is a base trade. Unless like he can hold on to this and keep Uzi from attacking him for long enough, he's got to do a base trade. It's going to be tough because Revolution is actually only on 4 bases, the same as his opponent. And usually the big strength of Zerg in the base trade, the reason why you don't want the base trade Zerg is because they have like 6 bases and you have 3 or something like that. And
no Mama Core,
though. That's not true.
No Mothership Core at all for Uzi really right now, but it will look like it'll go into the base trade for a Revolution. Kind of pulling back and forth. He really needs to make a decision right now and make something happen, but deciding actually will engage these Phoenixes not great for him. Kind of a little bit of unsurety right there.
Yeah, he's remaxing on Roaches and Hydras, so going back to that mid-game composition that didn't do too well in the beginning. He's going to try and get as good a concave as he can. He's going to have to bring back the mutas. 15 Hydras on the way, no more production from Uzi. I think he knows it's do or die time. The muta ball is now looking much less bally and much more clumpy. They are able to take out a Colossus at the end here, but, you know, that's many Stalkers and Phoenixes. He's going to be able to do away with those mutas as soon as he can. Down to 2 hatcheries producing for Revolution. This is it. There's not much Revolution can do by way of any sort of response to this. I'm pretty sure Uzi takes this.
Oh yeah, most definitely. Really, those Hydras, if anything would have happened, those Hydras needed to engage with this very nice force field, and G goes down for Revolution. Game 2, taken by Uzi. That was really, really cool to watch, actually. I really enjoyed that game.
I'm really happy I didn't make 2 absolutely...
Welcome back to ASL Challenger League Round of 32 Group G, and this is the final match of this best of 3. In the top right-hand corner, the gold Protoss representing Real. It is Uzi.
And his opponent is going to be the UK Zerg player playing down in the bottom left-hand position of Pete Secret Spring in his signature pink, playing for the TTC Academy, Revolution.
Now, which small island does this player come from again?
The UK, I believe I did mention, but
the UK island. Okay, the island.
UK. Is specifically English.
Okay.
Well, the UK, it's Isles.
I know. I'm
yes.
just making fun of Jamie. I'm just making fun of Trigonal here. All right.
There's the British Isles, the United Kingdom, and then England, and that confuses a lot of people, as it rightfully should, I guess. Especially given that United Kingdom doesn't actually have a king.
Okay.
Well, okay. Hold on. No. Stop.
Yeah.
We're still talking about the UK here. We're not talking about what's going on right now because there's a pylon blocking the natural. But the UK Isles isn't just right. It's not just
UK
Britain,
Isles?
and then
Did you just say the UK Isles?
Listen, the Britain Isles, but United Kingdom is
British.
it has isles, right? It's got the British Isles. Okay, it's got the Isle of Man too. It's got a ton of
No, the Isle of
yeah.
Man is its own separate country. That's not in the UK.
Third.
The UK, the Isle of Man is its own country. We share a currency, and we work together very closely.
Okay,
diplomatically.
so I didn't know that, but there are a ton
God,
of
Americans!
other.
I'm really
there
impressed
are-
that you
hold
know
on.
the Isle of Man exists.
Hold
a lot
on.
of English people wouldn't know that.
No, but there are a ton other islands in between Ireland and UK, and in between France and the UK that are part of you that aren't necessarily.
Yeah.
See,
Yeah,
Second base was blocked, so he took the third.
Anglesey.
everyone
Isle
sees what's
Scilly.
going on in the StarCraft. We're learning about geography right now.
Okay.
We've also got the Falklands as well.
Yeah, Yeah, that's in Argentina.
Essentially, it is.
I mean, it's not. It's
Isles.
it's away off the coast of Argentina, but yeah,
Y'all
it's
fought
like,
a war over that in the 80s.
Yeah.
which we won.
Tyrannus.
Rule Britannia.
You gonna sing us the national anthem right there, Jamie?
That's not the national anthem. That's just a.
Oh, I don't even know.
I don't know.
Okay, you're gonna sing some great song that'll inspire heroism in all your soul.
Heroinism?
No,
Being
no, no.
addicted to
We're
heroin?
talking about England, not Scotland.
Heroin? Okay, we have some British men addicted to heroin right here. Going for this game. Okay. Okay, Tyrannus, what is your read so far on Revolution right now? Going for 3 base and actually going to knock down the rocks. So it looks like he, for right now, kind of wants to head into that steady mid-game, which we were talking about before, how really in every game Revolution has been allowed to get into that mid-game composition that he loves, or at least the mid-game economy.
So exactly what you just said is what I was going to say.
Yes!
But he's hiding tech. He's doing what he did with the DT rush on, what is it, Foxtrot Labs?
No, Foxtrot's had map pool, man. It was Deadwing.
Oh,
Does
my
not
bad.
exist.
Look at me. It was Deadwing. Right. Deadwing. So, yeah, what he did against his Terran opponent, he's hiding tech. I expect to see, of course, the Templar Archive, or what's the one before? Twilight Council and the Dark Shrine. Sorry, yeah, that's what I expect to see. And I think it's going to be interesting because he knows that the third was taken, right? And with DTs, he'll be able to take down those, because the rocks are separating, right? I'm not too... Oh, wait, what did he put down? Just 2 Stargates.
Trick
Completely
Devil
wrong.
Stargate.
That's awesome. That's
This
such a cool
is-
play. That's
Yeah,
so cool.
I mean, I wonder what's going to come out of this.
You know,
The weird thing is, because it's proxied,
What do you think?
I feel like we're going to see something crazy. We're going to see 6 oracles come out of these 2 Stargates, right? They're going to run into the third base. They're going to focus down the queen. They're going to mainly ignore the drones. They're going to kill the third base, and then they're just going to YOLO their way out of there, off into the sunset.
Okay, so you're not aiming high enough, Trigonal. I'm thinking carriers.
I'm thinking Tempest. I'm going Tempest. Right now, though, Revolution is going to really
Void Ray.
regret any scout here. Double Void Ray coming
We're
out.
all wrong.
I wanted to see Oracle. I was so expecting Trigonal to be right here. Overlord not in the right position. Link's being pulled back. A nice kind of move. If he could hug them to the wall right here, Overlord won't spot him, but it looks like he will. And actually, that was a great decision. I mean, okay, it's a great decision to go air at least because the rocks were broken down. So this is not at all what Revolution's going to be expecting, because right now he's okay. He's not going to touch me for the next couple minutes. I'm good. But he's going to see double Void Ray, and he's saving up for that. I'd love to see like 4 Void Rays and 2 Oracle. I feel like that might be really interesting, just being able to put out a ton of damage output into the mineral line, and then just focusing down a hatch.
But you know what, though? Revolution has that Overlord covering the rocks. So he's going to get really nice advance warning of this. As much as he is reasonable to expect in this situation, at least.
But yeah, but that's why I'm kind of thinking more Oracles might be better just because they're faster.
So
Maybe.
But here's the thing about that is your Voiders are the ones doing the real heavy lifting of this engagement,
Yeah.
right? So if you take an Oracle in there, there's nothing that shoots up right now, right? So what would an Oracle take out in this situation? It's going to get targeted down by Queens and the Spore Caller really quickly. I think just keep pumping out Void Rays and see what happens. But you know, at any means, we do see 4 Void Rays making their way across the map, repositioning that Spore Crawler. He can target that down with 3, and he'll be perfectly fine and happy, and to move on and go ahead and take out this third. This third is gone. There's nothing safe stopping it.
Queen desperately trying to like walk over there, but it doesn't quite work without creep. Second Queen trying to do it, and it's going down. Hydra Den is on the way though, about halfway done.
Yeah, but I mean, halfway done is not good enough to make Hydras and deal with 5 Void Rays.
course
Revolution
it
is desperately trying to save this third base. I think I think this is a mistake. I think he just has to go, well, you know what? I just got Protoss. Here are the Void Arrays. I'm giving up the third base, and now he goes and
Drone's
takes...
not even moving. The drones were just hanging out for a while. Like, you know, screw it. I don't even know what to do with this. Going to another main, or sorry, not another main, another third.
Yeah, he's going to the natural, but what do you do if you're Evolution? I mean, like, he's got the Hydralisk Den. I mean, he can make Spore Crawlers, but literally this is what happens if you don't have a good read on your opponent, and right now, Revolution is feeling the pain. All the Overlords that just popped are going to get instantly zapped, and there's your supply. Now he's supply blocked again. That was like 400 minerals instantly gone. He's going to lose the natural if he chooses to engage with these Hydras.
Hydras can't engage.
GG. This is GG. This is really rough, and it's going to be 2 games to 1.
Hope. He must have hope in this position. I think he should have put more Spore Crawlers in his natural, only because, I mean, you have the layer there, so you're really going to want to keep that tech up right there. A little bit of a oversight by him, but these Hydras might get a very nice angle on these. These Void Rays want to, actually no, there's just enough Void Rays that will do it.
Void Rays are really good.
Oh, loses 2 of them to 1 Hydra. That Hydra is the hero Hydra of this game right now. Drone still working. What does
Does he get it
Revolution
before the upgrade?
do?
Yes.
Revolution GG's.